El Bagon, Molo, the constituency of Kuria Kimani, or is it Kimani Kuria? The man in charge of the finance committee in the National Assembly. And people have erupted. It is a sad moment for the people of Molo. Richard Otiono, a government critic, murdered and his body found outside the gate, outside the compound, taken to the mortuary. And then the people went to the mortuary, took the body, put it in a coffin, and they are now demonstrating. It is on a Sunday. And ladies and gentlemen, the number of people who have died mysteriously since 2022, 2022, the number is so high. And more so, the people who have been opposing the government. The fact that people have come out in large numbers, the fact that people are demonstrating, it tells you that this is not a natural death. The man with very young kids was actually nicknamed the president of Molo. And the man, as I'm gathering from the ground, was actually a thorn in as far as the politics of Molo is concerned. So the big question is it a natural death? Is it an assassination? Is it a revenge mission? And until the investigations are done, until every stone is turned, until the killers are arrested, the people of Molo will remain suspicious. This death, if you ask me, are only making the government very, very unpopular. And the reason why the government will remain unpopular is because, one, the government is the one that is in charge of implementing law and order, maintaining law and order. So the buck stops with the government. The fact that an innocent Kenyan, an innocent life can be lost without trace, without any explanation, then it raises a number of questions about the competencies of our security agencies. Number two, why the government started blamed and why the government will continue losing is because any government that cannot protect its people has no business being in office. Remember, when the president is sworn in, he swears to protect the constitution, to protect the life, to protect everybody within the boundaries of Kenya, within the territories of the Republic of Kenya. And when such a person dies, it is also something that is hurting. The other reason is because when you look at the people who are dying are people who are criticizing the government. They are people who are opposing the government. And then the question that comes, if you are a politician and if you are a leader and you cannot stand criticism, then you have no business being a politician. Because once you enter that public office, you actually offer your life to serve the people. You offer your life to be actually criticized by everybody, because you must be accountable for every action. So that is why the government started to be blamed, because these are the government critics who are dying. I'm not ruling out a possibility, because it can also be another possibility whereby a blogger can be killed, or a government critic can be killed by another group of people who want also the government to be blamed. It can be either way. It's getting hot, very, very hot, actually. But it is January, it is understandable. So what we are saying here, we are not ruling out criminals taking advantages, because a criminal can also take advantage and actually kill such an innocent young man, and the government would be blamed. But now it is the responsibility of the government to protect the people, such that if it is not the government that is doing it, then it should arrest the people who are doing it so that they are brought to book. The other reason why the government be blamed, we have seen people dying mysteriously, and once they die mysteriously, you realize that, in fact, even investigations are not done. And where they are done, they are shoddy. And you have not seen any results. You haven't seen any results of people being arrested, people being taken to court, people being jailed because of murdering. And I'm not saying that before 2022 there were no deaths. They were there. They were there. But we are not talking about that time. We are talking about the time that we are living and what we are seeing now, because we have a different administration. We have a different administration. And ladies and gentlemen, I think the fact that it is a youth who has died, the fact that this man is young, that is why the youth votes cannot go with the government. That is why the youth cannot vote with the government. Because you see, the perception among the youth is that the government is so ruthless, and a lot of lives, so many people have died, and they are youth, and they are youthful. And I'm not saying that the old people are not dying, but when you look at the number, you realize that it is now the fathers who are burying their sons. You know, in times of war, it is allowed, it is expected that the fathers shall bury their sons. But in times of peace, it is the sons who should bury their fathers. Now, are we saying that there is war in this country because it is the fathers who are burying the sons? When you look at what is happening here, the buck must stop somewhere. And I think the fact that, Molo has a history of crashes. And I think the government needs to be on red alert as far as the security is concerned. And I've seen some leaders even trying to say that, trying to profile some communities, saying that, I had another leader saying that they are going to rally the people against the Kikuyus. These are the kind of people who should be arrested and taken to court. And the National Commission on Integration is sleeping on the job because of such kind of leaders. Because such kind of leaders, a leader's word is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. Whatever the president say, whatever the member of parliament say, whatever the member of the county assembly says, can be taken with a lot of seriousness. So ladies and gentlemen, langu ni kuambia walioachwa makiwa, tuambia pole. I think it pains me to see such a young life actually going away, and I think the government need to do something. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Do you think it's just a natural death that Richard Otiono died? And the fact that people came out in large numbers, it means that people are not buying that idea of a natural death. Bye-bye.